Hey there, Masters of the Universe Classics fans. This is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at Matty Collector's New Adventures He-Man. This has just been released in the July subscription, and he was available on the website, but I do believe he's gone at this point. Very excited to have this guy. When I came into He-Man, it was sort of as hand-me-downs for my brother, so when New Adventures came out, it was sort of like the first time I had my own He-Man, and I remember I just loved the action figures. The only ones I had were He-Man and Skeletor, but I loved those figures. I also had the Power Sword, the electronic Power Sword, but yeah, very, very cool action figure. If you do get the opportunity to pick this guy up, I do recommend it if you like the New Adventures style. This is a figure where I'm so into it that I almost want to get a second one just to display his other look, but we'll get to that in a second. Very cool action figure. We've got the clear green Power Sword and green Power Shield from the series. Very, very cool work there. I love that it's not like a straight clear plastic that would be very brittle. It's kind of a cloudy plastic that has a little flex to it, so it's not going to break easily, but because of the kind of quad design there, this like plus type of design to the blade, it also makes it very sturdy, not easily bent in the plastic of the bubble, so that's very cool. Nice design work on the shield. Very cool. Unfortunately, we do have a little bit of, like, you know, what the mold release sections were, or whatever you want to call these. You do have that, but it still looks great. Again, the cloudy type of green plastic. Very, very cool. Clips onto his arm easily, right here at the wrist. Snap. Very, very cool. The sword fits into either hand very easily. No big whoop. And also has a slot on the back of his armor to slide right in there. Very cool. I love this kind of like Galactic Barbarian look that he's got going on. Very cool. So, speaking of which, we do have a very He-Man looking head. Almost, I would say, very similar to what they did on the previous He-Man figure. Maybe a slightly thinner nose, but for the most part, does resemble He-Man quite a bit. The gold on the helmet is a nice reflective pattern. I really like the back of the helmet. They've got like this great kind of it does kind of look like a jet turbine or something, jet engine. Very, very cool. It does burrow kind of deep into the back of his head, which kind of makes him look like a Matrix dude, because that thing's got to come back to at least here. So, yeah, weird, creepy. But very nice work on the helmet. A little paint defects on mine, just slight, and you probably can't even tell that well on camera, but the edges of the helmet on the inside were not painted gold, so he's got like some flesh-colored helmet there. So not bad. The eyes are very well painted, so let me get a little bit more light here. The eyes are very well painted, so you can see they did a good job with it. I dig it overall. The gold armor is really nicely done. You can see it's very reflective. It's catching light very well. We've got a nice little dial here, red buttons, I guess. We've got like copper tubing here that sort of looks like stuff that they use, like copperized material. So it kind of looks like space shuttle material. Very, very cool. Same thing kind of on the shoulders here. The back is fantastic. We've got this big copper panel here, blue lights, like springy stuff going on here. Great gauntlets. I love the red on the inside of the gauntlets. It really helps to kind of break up the monotony of the gold. All these little like red accents everywhere just sort of tie everything all together. Very cool. We've got the bow boots here. Yeah, definitely dig this guy. Very excited to have him. And then of course the New Adventures He-Man symbol where it's an H and an M at the same time. Very cool. Love the look of this guy. Very into it. Now, he also comes with a secondary look, and we will show that now. He-Man. So here's a second look. If you're not familiar with the classic toy, this is sort of how he came packaged, and then he had this armor, and the helmet would just slip on over the mullet, and the armor kind of clipped on around this other piece of armor. But this is kind of what a lot of people remember when they think of New Adventures of He-Man, the sort of ponytailed, mullety, kind of gladiator type look. just not a lot of armor, just sort of there, kind of, more similar to the classic look where He-Man doesn't wear a lot of armor. And we've got the big Iron Cross there still, but very nicely detailed there. They did a great job. Again, we have a spot for the sword, which I think is just too cool that they decided to put that on both versions. Totally, totally awesome. This is why I want to have another one of these figures, because I love the look of both of these. Again, we've got the He-Man face. Very nicely done. You can see they did a great job on the hair. They did their best to try and make it look not as mullety as it is. They just gave him sort of bangs in the front, and then everything else kind of ties up into this nice ponytail in the back with a nice gold clip on it. So, very, very cool. This figure is just awesome. If you liked the original New Adventures toys, this is just an amazing figure. I love this figure. So articulation-wise is pretty much standard whether or not you have the helmet and armor piece attached or not. We've got ball-jointed head, very nice range of motion, down, up, very nice. The hair doesn't get in the way of going up or anything like that. And then we've got, some good tilt in there, swivel hinges in the shoulders, go out to about there, swivels in the biceps, all the way around. Hinged elbows do not get quite 90 degrees. They're not great at all. I think the right, actually, the right does a little bit better than the left, but still not great. We've got swivel hinged hands here, so wrists, I guess. Swivel all the way around. Left hand goes in and out. Very cool. Right hand goes all the way around and forward and back. And what's interesting about that, the reason they designed it that way, is so that you can actually put his hand in the air like so. He can raise aloft the sword of Grayskull, or Power Sword, or whatever you want to call it, straight up in the air, and scream his silly, "I have a power," which is kind of what he says. I don't know, it's probably less weird when he does it, I don't know. Well, it's kind of creepy with a half-naked dude just yelling that out in the middle of the woods anyway, but whatever. So yeah, it's really cool that they added that. This is seemingly going to be kind of a new feature for the He-Man figures in general. They're going to try and get that in. What I do like that they also did is that these hands are very rubberized. You can see how easily I'm moving this out. This is not a lot of force put on that. And while it does mean that his sword grip is a little loose, like if you were to wiggle that for a while it might shake out, but it's not like super easy. It also means that he can grab other things without fear of things getting like warped over time. Like his hand's not going to permanently stay that way, so he can grab his armor and just carry that around with him if he wants, if you can get him to balance with it. And then it's not going to like hurt that at all. See how it just kind of retains shape? So very cool. Much softer plastic used there than I'm used to, at least on He-Man figures. So a little bit of a side there, sorry. We do have the wonderful ab crunch, which is not bothered much by the armor being on in either style. So very cool. Swivels all the way around on the waist. Swivel hinge hips. He does have this sort of diaper thing going on here. You can see it's split in the middle so that when you move his leg forward, it's hindered a bit, but it also is pulling that part forward. So if you try and move both parts forward, he's got like this big, like full diaper type of look, which is kind of silly. I would have rather they just cut this much higher and just not worried about the overlay at all. But they've been very keen about trying to hide articulation with this series, so whatever. They do go out to the side very far. The diaper doesn't seem to hinder it much there. Swivels in the tops of the thighs. Hinged knees go about 90 degrees. Perfect. Swivels in the boot tops, which are very tight on this figure, but they do go around. And then we've got very tight ankle joints as well. This is the new style that doesn't have the pin. Very, very nice upward movement there. Look at that. Pow. Nice. I hope I didn't just break it making it do that. And then side to side a little bit on the rockers. Not great, but certainly not bad. I do like having the swivels in the boots. It means that when you're trying to pose a little more complicatedly, I guess, you can kind of just adjust the bottom of the feet to help keep him balanced correctly, which is fantastic. That's something that I've always liked about the Masters of the Universe figures. or the Classics figures, I guess I should say. So the armor is very easy to swap. As you can see, there's just these 2 buttons here on the back. You just pop those off, pop this guy on. There's 1 button for that. It goes on very easily. It's not hard to do either way. So very, very cool. This guy for subscribers was $25. Day of sales was $27. Now I believe he's only available by third-party sellers. So expect to pay around $35 to $50, depending. I would guess probably more closer to like $45. But I do expect that this figure will be popular enough to disappear quickly once word of mouth starts getting around about how great he is. So if you do want to get one, go ahead and pick him up now. You know, it doesn't hurt you. I don't think he's going to go down much in price over time. I may eat crow later on that, but, you know, that's just how I see it. Cool action figure. Excellent accessories. You get extra armor, extra head, the sword, the shield, a way to store both at all times. What's not to love? This is a really cool figure. If you don't even like He-Man, this is an amazing space gladiator or space barbarian. Just fantastic. Nothing about him like ultimately screams He-Man if you're not familiar with the mythos. So he would make a great just background cool character to have on your 6 or 7 inch shelf. So yeah, definitely pick this guy up if you're a fan of New Adventures. If you're not a fan of New Adventures, he's still a really great Masters toy. I highly recommend him. Thanks for stopping by. If you guys have any questions or comments, please throw them in the box below. I'll be glad to help with anything I can. Anything at all. Just, you know, hit me up. There's no stupid questions, right? So, yeah. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you stopping by. And that's it. You guys have a great day. Try and enjoy your weekend if I don't do another review by then. So, thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.